What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. So we are currently in power hour. It is down 0.48%, but I want to give you a breakdown of some of the current data points, what's been coming out associated to Lucid, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And with that said, let's get right to it. So right now there's kind of a low volume, 21.4 million shares being traded, 38 is the average. Similar to the last several trading days, you can tell just based on the intraday, just big money isn't doing all that much with Lucid. So these are some of the transactions that have occurred so far today on the secondary market above $100,000. So only 3. Of course, today is Friday, so some of that could be attributed to that. But aside from that, just big money is still, for whatever reason, not really getting into Lucid. And to make things a little bit more, not complicated, but more confusing, is you have shorts doing something peculiar. And so I'm going to talk on that for a second. But right now, there has been no news, no SEC filings, nothing along those lines. There was those Form 4s that did come out yesterday. Again, I see a lot of people bring that up. I don't see it's that big of a deal. It was just selling associated to taxes. So whatever, it is what it is. But like I said, shorts. So shorts are returning right now 926,000 shares. 27.72% of the free float is being shorted, and 242.45 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost of borrow average is a little bit lower in comparison to yesterday, so 24.46%. But what makes things completely very interesting is looking at the intraday on shorts. There was a peak and roughly 17:15 GMT. So of course, just do your calculations, whatever, but it does show that shorts were returning roughly at its peak 9.6 million. So I did recently just have some people as well ask me on Twitter, what is going on with shorts? And the simple answer is I have zero clue, because institutions just are not getting in. There was a lot of abnormal buying that did occur last Thursday, but from now until then, there's been no news. They did participate in the Geneva conference or whatever showcase that was, so that might have been initiated some buying potentially, but still right now there's been absolutely nothing to really validate why shorts ever since last Thursday has been closing out their position. So I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you. So hopefully something big might be coming. Maybe it is associated to the gravity, but at this stage in the game, it's just kind of stuck in limbo. Despite that, though, you had a new analyst rating. So I'll touch on that in a second. But looking at options, $458,000 in calls being purchased versus 217 in puts. There's about 30 minutes left in the trading day. So this is pretty much going to be where it does land. But 48% of all the options being done today are optimistic and bullish. And looking right here, of the call options that are being purchased, you do see a consensus for it to be above 350 by the end of next week. So today, despite it being red right now, there is a sense of optimism. So that might be a fairly good thing, but looking at puts, you do see a consensus for it to be sub $3. So quickly moving on though, looking right here, so with it at $3.10, it is trading between this S1 and the pivot. So the low so far for today is 305. So kind of bounced off this general area. So of course that's kind of a good thing. And even over the last, 4 days or something like that, it has bounced off of this S1 3 times. So we do know that's a very strong support, whether it still does continue to hold, because it is pounding on it right now. So we'll just have to wait and see exactly if it is able to kind of sustain itself, because if so, then it'll continue to trade between this S1 and the pivot. If not, then it'll trade between this S2 and this S1. So you kind of have a lot of abnormal things all happening at once. The technicals are starting to break down, so it is pointing to the low 2s in theory, based on at least the Elliott wave technicals. You have shorts just doing whatever the hell they're doing, and then options is somewhat optimistic, pointing to upside. So normally I like to analyze what the information is saying, but today has been, and plus over the last several days, it has been all over the place. So let me know your thoughts on what that might potentially mean. But just to give you a quick overview of what the actual charts are showing and indicating. So on the actual chart, you do see it is lower percentile of the Bollinger Band. It has given up to really attempt to transition into the higher percentile. And like I said, that has to do more so with breaking down on both looking at the 15-minute and the 1 hour chart. So it's kind of breaking down on both of those. And looking on stochastic, classic, you do see it start to pull down. So that's kind of good, resetting the technicals some way, some sort, as long as it doesn't break that S1, like I said. So that is that $2.99/$3 support level. So as long as it doesn't break below that, then in general, it should be fairly okay. You do see a deviation still. So the orange line above the blue showing a bearish sentiment, and number of retail investors are starting to get back in today. So of course, like I said, there's some sense of optimism, but no matter what, it comes down to the company unveiling news. And of course, as I've mentioned in the past, I do feel big money is just waiting on the sidelines for that big news, whether it be associated to gravity, expansion, deliveries, something, I don't know. Again, something has to come out from the company itself. And today there was a downgrade, so a $3 price target. RBC, Tom, who does have a 53% success rating, did lower his target initially from $6, like I said, to that $3. So overall, not the best. And as of right now, it does have a consensus of $3.56, which is based on all the analyst ratings, and that is a 15% upside. And just to quickly go over here, the latest Morningstar report, which is based on the assets of the company, does show the fair market value for Lucid being $6.74. So with it at $3.10, it is at a pretty substantial discount. But then again, what do I know? I'm not a financial advisor. You guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. So give yourself a shout out. Have you been buying Lucid? Have you been selling? What is your overall take? Do you think that it is going to trend down similar to what the Elliott Wave technicals have pointed to? Or do you think it is going to trend up to maybe the $4, $5 range? Or what's your kind of realistic viewpoint? And do you think that this is a fair value for Lucid being roughly $6 and change? So what's your thoughts? And one final thing I just wanted to share with you, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for an account with Moo, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So definitely take advantage of this. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.